tube is... I'll have to remove the tube. The 3 golden rules for patching a tire. Find the hole, mark the spot, apply the patch. The tube is definitely busted. There's air coming out somewhere. I should find out where it's coming from. The museum is closed, and Max said he wouldn't be back until sometime in the evening. I'll hold the tube underwater and see where the bubbles... So I found the hole and... Since I don't have anything to use as a patch, I'd better not put... So now I've smeared glue on the glove. Hopefully the glove will withstand the pressure. I can't think... The tire tube is patched. Now I just have to... Hello?
Oh,
I patched the hole.
I never would have thought it.
Excuse me? What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you don't exactly look like you could do something like that.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm a motorcycle mechanic.
Yeah, so? You still don't look like you could fix a bike.
I'll just take that as a compliment. And now that I've proved myself worthy, I can fix your camera too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Here, take it.
See you later.
But you'll be back, promise?
Of course, don't you worry. This digital camera doesn't work. I have no idea how I'm supposed to fix it. I still hope I can get a few... What do you know? It works after all. The batteries were just dead. Now I'm curious to see what they're all pictures of... But here, 2 little figures in black robes. Too bad you can't see the face. But then Eddie could have been right. Maybe I should go talk to him again. Here, I fixed your camera.
Really? Cool, you really did it. You're great, thanks.
Don't mention it.
Here, just for that, I'll give you my lucky charm. It's a little magnet in the shape of a hamster. We hang it on our microwave at home, but I think you should have it.
Oh, thanks a lot. Now get going. Your parents are probably worried sick about you. Unfortunately, I can relate to that all too well right now. I can't claim that the sun is really blinding me, and I'm not at all in the mood to be very cool at the moment. Who should I call? My father would answer if he could. I've laid both lenses over each other. They now have a green... I've laid the broken glass over the lens glass, and now the lens... If I oversalt the Now I can tape my cell phone on. I'll try to draw the key up the side of the glass using the magnet. Got it. My father's address book. That and a little note. There's a number on this note. LA60AK 19AL. Originally, the 3 largest gemstones in the world had been incorporated into this diadem. On the left, an emerald. My father wrote something on the back. The diadem will illuminate the real princess, and she will realize. My father's address book. Lots of entries, but I can't. Got it! A cassette. That's weird.
The first and last on the car. A fourth of the openings in the entrance to the underworld. And finally, the guardians of my work.
What? What's that? Some kind of...
The first and last on the car. A fourth of the openings in the entrance to the underworld. And finally...
What? That leads to the sewers. Password 2. Nothing's happening.
The first and last on the car. A fourth of the openings in the entrance to the underworld. And finally...
What? Password 2, 3. Nothing's happening. Looks like it's the wrong code.
The first and last on the car. A fourth of the openings in the entrance to the underworld. And finally, the guardians of my work.
What? Password 2, 3, 2. No wonder Dad tape recorded the code. No one would... You're not supposed to read other people's email. Then there are only 2 emails in the inbox. One about boosting performance and the other about women over 80. The trash file is empty. But there's an email to ok@nms.
Hello, Oleg. Haven't heard from you in a long time. I'm doing well again. It took me quite some time to come to terms with the whole thing. To answer your question, it's been a long time since I've thought about that. And honestly, I'm rather happy about it. I underestimated those guys once already, and my wife paid with her life. I swore back then to drop the subject for once and for all. Please don't take offense, but I'm just going to leave it at that. But now that you're living nearby again, we can meet in person. I would like to see you again. Get in touch and let me know when and where would be convenient. Vladimir Kalenkov.
Dad underestimated these guys and my mother paid with her life? What did he mean by that? She died in a car accident. I really need to contact this old... Let's see if this Oleg is in there. The one who... Oh! Besides this Oleg, none of these... There's a number on this note. LA. Originally, the 3 largest gemstones in the world had been in... My father wrote something. So here we are. Hopefully he knows something that can be helpful. A blue trash bag. A relic from long ago. I wouldn't know who to call, and even if I did know who to call, why am I paying exorbitant? A sweet little food bowl for our... Pets can get in and out through that thing. A sweet little food bowl for our furry friends.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Are you Oleg Kambursky?
Yeah. Why?
I'm Nina Kalinkov.
Yeah? And?
Yeah, okay. You know my father, Vladimir Kalinkov, and I thought you...
I don't know any Vladimir Kalinkov. And now, if you'll excuse me, please.
Phooey. That wasn't very successful. I hope for the biggest break in the search for my father, and that guy doesn't even let me speak. Or exactly the right thing. I'm finally gonna get rid of this stinky stuff. And the... A broom handle. A broom handle. But it could be a handle. Looks like this Kambursky guy is a hobby gardener. The guy is hectically making phone calls. Does that have something to do with my visit? If only I were a fly. The food and water bowls for the pet in the middle. Oleg is still on the phone, and he's not exactly leaving the impression. Cats. Little hairy beasts that just sleep and eat. The cell phone's camera function is on, a rare example of the European roaming dictaphone. Now I just need... That should make our little pussycat real thirsty. Wonderful, it worked! Oleg is still on the phone, and the cat will be drinking for a while, and hopefully recording. This phone tap idea could get me a job with... The museum is closed. My father has worked hard for months on the... The cat recorded the conversation. Now I just need... Let's see how the cat reacts to my cell phone's vibe. Oh, great. The cat is up in the tree and my cell phone is I've reinforced the opening of the bag with a bucket. Just a little more tape around it. I can't read. That could work. Wonderful. Let's see if the recording of
Kalinkov isn't here anymore. No, Tunguska wasn't mentioned, but there wasn't any opportunity to either. Yeah, I just think someone urgently needs to take care of the matter. All right, so you'll call back then. Bye.
Well, that wasn't very productive. Okay, so this is what we have. Someone should be tending to some kind of matter. I hope the matter isn't me. Besides that, something about Tunguska. There was also something in the mail for Oleg. Maybe I should ask Max about that later. Who should I call? Max Gruber said he'd be back at the museum sometime this evening if my feminine intuition doesn't fail.
Did you get what I wanted?
Not yet. We've searched through everything but haven't found anything.
And Kalinkov?
Still nothing here either. We'll probably have to take other options into consideration.
I don't care what you do, as long as I get results. Don't disappoint me.
Strange. I feel like I'm always being followed. Even when I came home earlier, for a brief moment, I thought that I saw the face of that.
Oh well, most likely it's my nerves. I hope. Hello? Can I
You're not interrupting. On the contrary. Have you heard from your father?
No, unfortunately not. And last night I was attacked.
Attacked? Are you hurt?
No, nothing to worry about. But it must be because of something important. Do you really have no idea what it could be?
No, He's been under a lot of stress in the last few days, but that's happened before. Looking back, there are plenty of ways to interpret it, but especially conspicuous? No, not really.
That's a shame. Yesterday evening you offered me your help. Does the offer still stand?
But of course. My name is Max, by the way.
Nina. But you know that, don't you?
So, ask away.
In the last few hours, I've heard the name Tunguska several times. Do you know anything about it?
Do you mean that Tunguska catastrophe from 1908?
Yes, could be.
At the beginning of the last century, something exploded there. The destruction must have been enormous, but even today nobody really knows what happened back then. Your father once took part in an expedition to Tunguska, but you probably know that, don't you?
We never really spoke much about what he used to do. After my mother's death, he never wanted to speak about his work in Russia anymore.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It was a long time ago. She was killed in a traffic accident. Shortly after that, we came to Germany. I think my father simply wanted to leave all of that behind him.
And your father never spoke about his work in Russia? Didn't you ever ask him?
No. He asked me never to ask him again, and I kept my word, despite being very interested at times.
Well, I know a little more about it. In 1908, an unidentified object went down over the Siberian taiga. A huge area was completely destroyed by the shockwave and a wall of fire. The shepherds who lived there, the so-called Evenk, were either hurled through the air or burnt. There were hardly any survivors to witness anything. Several expeditions were started to find out the cause of this catastrophe, but despite all their efforts, no clues or any evidence was found that was at all helpful. And in time, several fantastic theories arose, from a meteorite colliding with Earth, to the appearance of an unknown type of energy, to the explosion of a spaceship. And off the top of my head, that is about everything that I can tell you on the subject. But somewhere in the archive, I still have a few articles over the Tunguska phenomenon lying around. Shall I go and get them?
Yes, that would be sweet of you. Oleg spoke about it, and I read one of my father's mails to him. There was also something about it in there. Maybe it will bring me a little further.
Okay, I just have to get a few small things done here, and then I'll have a look around the archive.
Thank you very much.
Yesterday evening, Eddie was mumbling something about people in black robes. I didn't take him very seriously at first, because his description was, let's say, a little strange. But I spoke to a little girl today who saw something similar last night. She even took a photo of the men in black robes. Unfortunately, there is not very much to see, but I'll certainly speak to Eddie about it again. Do you know where I can find him?
No, I have no idea. I haven't seen him all day. He's probably crept away somewhere quiet to think about it all.
You mean he's drinking again?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Unless...
Unless what?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing? Come on out with it, tell me.
Well, if those strange men in black noticed that he was watching them...
You mean they came back?
I don't know. At the moment, I have no idea what is actually happening here.
Well, this is something we have in common. I found this piece of paper amongst my father's records. Does it tell you anything?
LA 60 AK19 AL? That sounds like one of our exhibits. What about it?
No idea. I was hoping that you could tell me that.
Not spontaneously, but I can go and get the item. The note with the description of the diadem is missing, but you just had it in your hand. I don't know any more about it either.
Thanks a lot. Can I take my time to have a look at it?
Of course, but please don't forget to put it back later. Otherwise your father will tear my head off.
If he still can.
Hey, stop thinking like that. We'll find him, I promise.
Yes, hopefully. There must be an important reason why Daddy kept a piece of paper with the description of the diadem at home. But what? And what is that about the true princess? He used to call me that sometimes. Is it a message to me that I should be able to understand somehow? Think, Nina. Think quickly. Does the name Oleg Kambursky say anything to you?
Kambursky? Oleg Kambursky? No, nothing. Should it?
Unfortunately, I don't exactly know that either. The things out of the archive about Tunguska.
Yes, I'll get going now. But it could take a while until I've sorted through the records.
No problem. I'll wait here.
On the outside, it seems totally normal. Let's see what we find here. The label is illegible, but judging from the skull, plaster of Paris. The text says to add water and vegetable oil and mix to achieve.
Looks kind of threatening. That red eye on the totem seems to be following me everywhere I go.
If I swipe things from Max's office, he certainly won't keep helping me. So the spoke has now broken off, but that eye now can no longer look at me in that evil way.
That thing doesn't fit in there properly.